What if the betrayal that broke you was the same path God planned to lift you? What if the pit wasn't the end of your dream, but the beginning of your purpose? What happens when the people meant to guard your life become the ones who break your trust? What happens when a dream planted by God becomes the spark that turns your world upside down? This is not just Joseph's story. It's a reminder that God is still working, even when your life looks completely undone. Joseph was not a ruler, not a prophet in the beginning, just a son, a brother, and a young man carrying a dream he didn't yet understand. Joseph was born to Jacob in his later years, and from the start, his life stood out. His father loved him deeply, openly, and without restraint. That love was real, but it was also careless. And without meaning to, Jacob planted seeds of jealousy in the hearts of Joseph's brothers. To make that love visible, Jacob gave Joseph a richly decorated robe, a garment that set him apart from the rest. Every thread of it spoke of favor. Every time Joseph wore it, it silently reminded his brothers that they felt overlooked. They worked the fields, they tended the flocks, yet Joseph stood above them, not because of effort, but because of affection. And bitterness, once rooted, does not remain quiet for long. While Joseph was still young, God began to speak to him through dreams. Powerful dreams, symbolic dreams, dreams that stayed with him even after he woke. In one vision, Joseph and his brothers were binding bundles of grain in the field. Suddenly, Joseph's bundle stood upright, while the others leaned in and bowed before it. When Joseph shared the dream, the air around them changed. "Do you think you'll rule over us?" they snapped. Their resentment hardened into hatred. Soon after, Joseph dreamed again. This time, the sun, the moon, and 11 stars bowed before him. He shared this dream too, this time with both his brothers and his father. Even Jacob corrected him. "Will your mother, your brothers, and I bow before you?" Joseph carried truth, but not yet wisdom. He spoke with youthful honesty, unaware that truth spoken too soon can still cause deep wounds. His brothers knew one thing clearly: Joseph's dreams threatened everything they believed about themselves, their place, their future. One day, Jacob sent Joseph to check on them as they watched the flocks near Shechem. Joseph obeyed. He left the safety of home, still wearing the robe that marked him as favored, and walked straight into the presence of men whose hearts were already closed against him. They saw him from a distance, before he reached them, before he spoke, and they plotted. "Here comes that dreamer," they sneered. "Let's kill him and throw him into a pit. We'll say an animal destroyed him. Then we'll see what becomes of his dreams." This was not sudden anger. This was hatred that had been growing for years. Reuben, the eldest, stepped in, not out of compassion, but to prevent bloodshed. He convinced them to throw Joseph into a pit instead, planning to return later and rescue him. When Joseph arrived, confused and trusting, they grabbed him, tore off his robe, the symbol of his father's love, and threw him into a deep, empty pit. "No water, no escape, no explanation," Joseph cried out. No one answered. While he sat in darkness, his brothers sat down to eat, unmoved by his pain. As they ate, a caravan of Ishmaelite traders appeared on the road to Egypt. Judah spoke up. "What profit is there in killing our brother? Let's sell him instead. He is our own flesh and blood." They agreed. Joseph was pulled from the pit, not to be saved, but to be sold. 20 pieces of silver exchanged his life. In a moment, the dreams of God seemed buried beneath the dust of the road to Egypt. The brothers stained Joseph's robe with goat's blood and sent it to Jacob. When Jacob saw it, his heart shattered. "My son is gone," he cried. And while Jacob mourned, Joseph was carried farther away. In Egypt, he was sold again, this time to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh. Joseph entered the house as a slave, stripped of family, identity, and control over his future. Yet Scripture quietly tells us something powerful. The Lord was with Joseph. Even in chains, Joseph worked with excellence. Everything he touched prospered. Potiphar noticed and placed him over the entire household. Only one thing was withheld: Potiphar's wife. But temptation often appears where favor rises. Day after day, she pressured Joseph. Day after day, he refused, not from fear, but from faith. How could I do this evil and sin against God? One day, when no one else was present, she grabbed his garment. Joseph ran, leaving the cloak behind. Furious and humiliated, she twisted the truth and accused him of assault. Potiphar believed her. Joseph was thrown into prison. Another betrayal, another injustice, another closed door. But once again, Scripture repeats the same truth. The Lord was with Joseph. Even in prison, Joseph found favor. Responsibility followed him. Trust surrounded him. Soon, he was placed over the other prisoners. Time passed. Two of Pharaoh's officials, the cupbearer and the baker, were imprisoned and troubled by dreams. Joseph interpreted them through God's wisdom. One would be restored. One would die. Everything unfolded exactly as he said. Before the cupbearer left, Joseph asked only one thing. "Please remember me." But he was forgotten. 2 years passed. Then Pharaoh dreamed. Dreams of strong cows devoured by weak ones. Full grain swallowed by thin stalks. No one could explain them until the cupbearer remembered Joseph. Pharaoh summoned him. In a single moment, Joseph went from prison to palace. Standing before Pharaoh, he spoke carefully. "I cannot do this, but God will give the answer." Joseph explained the meaning: 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. He advised preparation and wise leadership. Pharaoh recognized God's hand and appointed Joseph second in command over all Egypt. In one day, Joseph rose from prisoner to ruler. When famine spread across the land, Joseph's brothers came to Egypt for food. They bowed before the governor, not knowing it was Joseph. But Joseph knew them. He tested their hearts, not for revenge, but for transformation. When Judah offered himself in place of Benjamin, Joseph wept. "I am Joseph," he said. "Is my father still alive?" Fear filled the room. Guilt. Silence. But Joseph reframed their past. "You meant this for evil," he said. "But God meant it for good, to save many lives." Joseph sent for his father. Jacob's strength returned when he learned his son lived. God reassured him on the journey, reminding him this descent was not loss, but purpose fulfilled. Joseph's life teaches us that betrayal does not cancel destiny. Waiting is not wasted time, and what looks like destruction may be the path God uses for deliverance. The pit didn't end the dream. The prison didn't silence God. What was meant to break him became the means by which nations survived. Because when God gives a promise, even suffering, time, and betrayal must eventually bow. If the story touched your heart, don't scroll past it. Like this video to stand with faith over fear. Subscribe to Star Stories for more powerful Christian stories that remind you God is never late, and what was meant to destroy you can still become your testimony. Share this with someone who needs hope today.